are proud to be here standing with you in the memory of Taras Shevchenko, that first great hero, in the conviction that our democracy, that our parliaments, that our people, freedom-loving people, are more powerful than any army. We're here on our civic square in front of one of our great city halls, a symbol of our democracy. And we're here to send a clear message. Free people will not stand for the military occupation of Crimea or any other part of Ukraine. Free people will not tolerate the annexation of territory by any leader. However great their nostalgia for Joseph Stalin or love of KGB values, we will not stand for it. Free people will not allow international law and the aspirations of free Ukrainians to be trampled. We, as Canadians, are justly proud of our achievements, and we are equally proud of our roots in Ukraine and around the world. We know what it is to fight for freedom. There's a war memorial just over there that reminds us about those fights. We know what it is to flee tyranny, to be refugees from conflict, to be victims of Soviet and communist brutality. Stalin's outrages, his numberless crimes, were one of humanity's darkest chapters. But they also brought Canada some of our greatest immigrants. And we honor Stalin's victims, the victims of the whole Soviet legacy, the victims of Yanukovych as well, by speaking out against Putin's illegal occupation of Crimea. That is why we have condemned this invasion. That's why we've rejected the farce of a vote at Russian gunpoint. That's why we have sent the few Russian military officers and soldiers who are studying this country packing back home. That's why we've withdrawn our ambassador. That's why we are banning those responsible for the violence, both in the Yanukovych and Putin regimes, from travel to Canada. We are taking action because we understand the lessons of history. Canada is showing leadership because we know how the world, how Ukraine, and how Russia, under this arbitrary leader, this terribly misguided leader, got to this dangerous place. When a Russian president thinks he can save his own golden faucets by making the most egregious violations of the UN Charter in a generation, he is making a big mistake. No territory in Europe has been forcibly annexed since the time of the Nazis and their one-time ally, Joseph Stalin. And no free people around the world, and there are billions of free people around the world, will stand for new divisions, new annexation in Europe or anywhere else. We will put our feet down. And with your permission, let me send a short message to Vladimir Vladimirovich in a language he will understand. Мы вас знаем, Владимир Владимирович. Мы знаем, что вы вторглись в Грузию, что вы создали огромный конфликт в Сирии, Уже 150 тысяч убитых в Сирии. Это ответственность, по большому счету, Путина. Вы хотите, чтобы Украина стала новым плацдармом для грабежа, для коррупции, для олигархов, для боязни. Но украинцы сказали нет. Они не допустят, чтобы Россия играла такую роль на территории свободной, европейской, современной Украины. Vladimir Vladimirovich, Ukrainians have already rejected you. You know, 3 days after Russian forces invaded Ukraine, Putin could not even acknowledge that they were there. He did not have the courage. He did not have any commitment and has rarely had, perhaps never had, any commitment to telling the truth. Instead, he said it was a covert operation and hoped the masks would hide the identities of these occupiers. By doing these things, Putin is a disgrace to his country and an insult to Ukrainians. That's why no leader of any free nation will be attending any summit in Sochi. That's why we are standing with Ukrainians as they unite to build a stronger country. That's why Canada will support the new spirit of the Maidan, which is saying no to the past, yes to a bright future, yes to Europe, yes to a Euro-Atlantic future with Canada as one of its principal allies, yes to honesty and accountability, yes to the rule of law, yes to a new future, democratic future, starting in May 2014, and yes to the support of the whole world as we all condemn the small-minded, illegitimate, and dangerous adventures of Vladimir Putin.